Welcome back to Garage K. I am David. Today we'll be working on my 1998 Toyota Altezza. This car is used for drifting. There's one section at my home circuit in particular that I'm having trouble with because it's uphill. So I'm trying to get a little more power and throttle response. To achieve this, I'm installing ITBs on the car. This isn't a matter of just bolting them on and going. There are a few things to take care of first to make everything fit. Today we're going to be focusing on this. For my ITBs, this is the Pipercross filter plate. And as you can see, we have a bit of an issue where the clutch fluid reservoir is in the way. To remedy this, we need to remove it and install a remote fluid reservoir. These can be picked up from Amazon, eBay, Yahoo Auctions, or your local motorcycle accessory shop. There are many various styles, shapes, and colors to choose from. This is the one that I got, and I chose this one because of its somewhat OEM look, the size of its output, and the fact it comes with the hose. I want to put my remote tank in this location, but first I need to move the ABS cabling out of the way. That's not the easiest thing to do, it looks like. Yeah, Toyota have decided that this needs to be a major thing. This one, the other plug, and this are all connected down there. I'm gonna leave this tape here. I cut the two sections of tape above this, and now I can just push the cabling out of the way. So that's what I'm going for. I really wanted to have this hose pointing the other direction, but it just makes more sense space-wise to have it over here. Then I can follow this line here down, under, and then over to there. As you can see, the spacing is nice on both sides, but I think it's a little bit high. I went to the hardware store with the purpose of buying this stuff, but a little bit thicker, with the holes spaced like that. Couldn't buy it, ended up buying this piece of aluminium. It's 2mm by 30mm, and it suits the little tank that I've got really well. So what I've done is transferred this hole and the locating dowel onto here. I eyeballed the locating dowel, so let's see how good I really am. Thanks, Ricky. I drilled the locating one first, and perfect, look at that. That's what I end up with, 3 holes. This goes on here like that, and I have the hole at the bottom, which I just noticed probably isn't gonna do up. That is what we end up with, okay? The fit of this is spectacular. Let's go test fit it in the car. Yo. Okay, our test fit has revealed that this hole's actually 2 to 3 millimeters too close to there. Try again. That's all we can do. It sucks, but man, it's what happens. You're making custom bits for the first time. It's not gonna work first time every time. But I am glad that I bought a whole strip of this and not just a piece of radio strap, because I wouldn't have been able to do it again. Thanks, Patrick. And there she is, round 2. Let's fit it up and see how it fits in the car. 20mm long, M6. Take the original nut off and put it on there. Now I can take this and bolt it on there. Now I didn't have a cap bolt that was the right length. I just put a nut on, cut this off, pulled the nut off, and that fixes the thread on the way out. Get that set to where we want it, and that's not going anywhere. When you get the fluid out of here, cap off. And hello, fluid. All right, now we're empty. Need to get this pin out of here. The proper way to get it out is to actually remove the whole thing, but we're gonna try and not do that. Gonna try our luck with these bad boys. One of the problems with vice grips is this. They just, like, these are brand new, by the way. How can you grab anything when the jaws don't even line up? But we are going to get it out of there. It's just a matter of how. Okay, we're doing it. We're going in. Snap this side off, if we can, and then we'll just lift it out. Yeah, just simply lift it out. What about some tape over this so that I don't spill anything in there? Here we go. Hey, and we're out. So I'll be using one of these to allow the master to accept a hose. This is from a RAV4, and the input is 10 millimeters in diameter. Part number will be in the description. None of the remote fluid reservoirs I could find had a 10 millimeter output, so I used an 8 millimeter to 10 millimeter hose adapter. Here is the seal. Part number will be in the description. Right, now you go in there like that. This will run out this way. I'd actually be happier if it ran over this way, but beggars can't be choosers. Well, actually they could. If I zip tied it on, I could have it wherever the hell I want. The next step is to remove this area of the master cylinder using the incorrect tools. What you don't need is 20 minutes of footage of me doing this. So the disc was coming loose, so I tried to tighten it and it snapped off. 20 minutes later, I'm back. I managed to find another one of these, but the bolt hole was the wrong size for this, so I drilled this out, and then I couldn't find the bolt to go in the end, so I had to find a new bolt for that. Oh, back to this. Now I've got a flat battery. All right. It's not one thing, it's another thing, isn't it? 700 years later. And we're out of battery again. So I bit the bullet and I connected up the air, which is what I should have done in the beginning, because doing it with this, whilst it worked, it just took too damn long. And this should rip straight through this really easy. It's not going to get tangled in anything. Absolutely what I should have been using from the beginning. Yo. And that's what we've ended up with. As you can see, it's much smoother now, nicer shape, much better clearance for the plate. Even with it shaved down that much, there's still only about 1 millimeter of clearance to the filter on there. So it's really, really tight. I could take a little bit more off. I think I will. You might be watching this thinking, Dave, you're taking a lot off there. I guess you know how deep you can go before you cut right through the thing. And the answer is no. That's a lot more taken off. That should work really well. Here's the new pin. Getting that pin in there is proving to be really difficult. So what I'm actually using is one of these, this way around, in there like that. I hold it like this and then hit it with this hammer here. This is the view that I have. I can't see anything. I'm swinging the hammer hoping I hit the socket extension and not my finger. Seriously recommend nobody do that. Do not do this. Take that off. Do it the easy way. My trifecta of zip ties here looks a little bit janky, but because there's nothing supporting the front here, it wants to tip up because it's pivoting on this pin. The other one had this as a support. There's no support under here for this. I thought about a bunch of different ways to try to raise this up so that I wouldn't need the zip ties. But I mean, at the end of the day, the zip ties are easier. And it works. It's not going anywhere like that. So I might just leave it as zip ties. I thought about filling the underside here with epoxy, and that would actually work, create a shelf. I did think about drilling a hole through here, putting a captive nut underneath, and then putting a bolt through. The captive nut would pull up as the bolt pushes down and would lift it. So if you have another idea, let me know. But I can't take this off again now because the pin's already in. So whatever I do will have to be done in place. All right, let's talk hoses. The OEM hose used on the RAV4 is no longer available from Toyota and probably wouldn't be long enough anyway. So I just got 2 feet of EPDM hose from the internet. It's important to get EPDM hose because brake fluid has been known to eat other types of hoses. The inside diameter of the hose required for this is 9.5 millimeters. Okay, I need to plug this on. There we go, that's on. Put on a hose clamp. I've decided to cut it here. I'm afraid, but we're doing it. All right, thanks, Dave. Yo. Put on a hose clamp. I want to put something on here to hold the hose up out of the way. And that will do nicely. Yeah, perfect. Look at that. We'll connect it up there. I'll chuck a couple of zip ties on there to hold that in place. This new hose is a bit of a roller coaster. It does go down and back up again, but because the tank is the highest point, when I bleed the system, it will force out all the old fluid and any trapped air. That's done. That's done. To see how I did the vacuum block, check this video. To see how I did the catch tank, check this video. I'll see you in the next one. Later.